The New England Patriots just pulled this fast one on the entire NFL. Let's talk about it. My name is Aaron on the daily Patriots content. Don't miss out, ladies and gentlemen. All you got to do, hit that subscribe button, notification bell, and as well, hit the like button. It takes you 2 seconds. So we know as Patriots fans, this offseason was a big make or break for the Patriots. They needed to do well in free agency as well as the draft. Now, everything that we have seen thus far would conclude that, hey, things are looking up. The media's on board. They're getting more momentum, more steam going into the season. And I would not be surprised if the Patriots made a push at a wild card spot. I think they have a ton of potential there. But here's the big thing. In free agency, a lot of people knew, hey, we need to go get an edge rusher. Hey, we need to go get a wide receiver. There were certain positions we needed to get offensive linemen in general. There was a lot of positions that people knew the Patriots needed to go out and get. But how the Patriots pulled a fast one was very simple. They went out and got our guy, Robert Spillane. Now, before you're like, wait, what? I thought you were talking about this very moment. Let me talk, all right? Juwan Bentley, a lot of people thought three-time captain, had helped the Patriots out greatly. Obviously has an injury this past year. Coming back, yes, you could argue that his style of play isn't necessarily what Mike Vrabel wants in a linebacker, but regardless, linebacker wasn't a position that you thought the Patriots were going to necessarily go out and get a high caliber player. So what do? They go out, they get Robert Spillane. Absolutely devastated Las Vegas. The reason I'm bringing this up, Las Vegas is still talking about this. How frustrating it was that they could not re-sign Robert Spillane in free agency. And you know for a fact with a team like them, somewhat in a similar situation as the Patriots, and the reason I say that is they both have new head coaches that have solid experience. Obviously, Pete Carroll's won a Super Bowl, has been to multiple Super Bowls. Remember the Super Bowl they lost? Yeah, you remember. They should have just gave it to Marshawn. Actually, they shouldn't have given it to Marshawn Lynch. Anyway, I digress. That's not the point. But they both have quarterbacks in there that are going to be able to be solid. Definitely Drake May has a much higher top end than someone like a Geno Smith. But in a lot of ways in a similar position, where it's, hey, we're trying to start this thing over, and we need some of these core solid players in to buy in, and Robert Spillane was one of them. What happens? The Patriots says, hey, you know what? We need a linebacker like Robert Spillane to lead this defense for Terrell Williams and Mike Vrabel. They go in, they surprise. I'm not gonna lie, I was surprised. I'm not saying in the draft, I expected, I believe his name was Carson Schlesinger, who was out of UCLA. There's a couple other linebackers that I'm like, okay, I could see the Patriots getting and probably putting behind a Bentley, getting some training, getting some rotational play, and then eventually getting that starting role. I did not expect them to go out and get someone like Robert Spillane. So it's just huge to see, hey, this is what we're going to do. We're overhauling the whole thing. For the most part, this is what we need. Thank you for your service, Bentley, but Robert Spillane's coming in. So again, really pulling a fast one on the NFL. A lot of people expected Robert Spillane to go back to Las Vegas. I think he even at one point believed he was going back there, but no, he chose the light side to come to the Patriots, which has been great. Now, another big reason we're talking about Robert Spillane is in OTAs, he has only impressed, ladies and gentlemen, going out there, and as the linebackers coach Zach Core, not Kerr, Core has said, is he's out there and he's a coach on the field. Him and Tavai. That's a reason I don't think Tavai. A lot of people have said it's possible that he gets cut, especially after this injury if he doesn't step it up. Again, he's out there. He's a coach. He's a leader on the field. I think that is a quality that can be hard to come by. And when we look at the defense, there is so much right going for this defense. So much right. The defensive line, the edge rushers, everything is shored up. Barmore should be able to play. Milton Williams, the biggest free agent pickup. Then you have Keon White, up-and-coming guy on the edge. And then you have Harold Landry III. Then you have Christian Barmore, Clayton Davis. You have all these different guys that there is a ton of potential. And when you bring in a leader, of a captain for the Raiders like Robert Spillane, especially if he wanted to go back to the Raiders, I know money talks. I'm not an idiot. But seeing the opportunity where he's like, hey, I can go play for Mike Vrabel again, because he played for the Titans back in the day. I can go play for Mike Vrabel again. I can go lead this defense and bring this out of this rebuild back into the playoffs, back into a relevant team like the Patriots should be. That is huge. That is huge. And I'm going to tell you right now, another reason why the Patriots did pull this fast one is the fact that Robert Spillane will be the glue of this defense. Again, he led the Las Vegas, I always want to say Oakland, the Las Vegas Raiders with 55, there we go, Aaron, talk, 55 tackles last year. This year, expect greatness out of Robert Spillane. A lot of people didn't think the Patriots were in the market for a linebacker. Psych, they were. Robert Spillane's the man. Expect great things this season from him. Las Vegas devastated. They didn't get him back. Patriots, hey, we swooped in. No one was looking. No one expected us to come get a linebacker, and we did. Well done, Patriots. Robert Spillane, watch out. He's going to be an absolute menace on the field. Next up, and tell me what you think about Robert Spillane. Your reaction when the Patriots picked him up, were you surprised? Did you expect someone to get drafted? What was your reaction when Robert Spillane got picked up in free agency? And then second part to that question is, what do you expect out of him this year? Let's hear it. Next up, a big narrative at the moment of Drake May hitting a sophomore slump coming up this year. Now, I want to read a quote quick from Ashton Grant, and then I want to get into why I don't believe that is so and the evidence that would support that. So let's go. Drake is doing a hell of a job with a change from one offense to a new offense. He's been a pro's pro. He's been super intentional with everything we've asked him to do. So I couldn't be happier with where he is at right now. So that's just big coming from the quarterback coach as well. Josh McDaniels saying great things about Drake May as well. But here's the thing. I think a lot of people say, well, look at C.J. Stroud. Aaron, look at C.J. Stroud. He had a slump in his second year. Yes, that's true. Also, that team was decimated on offense with injuries, and it was a struggle. They didn't play as well. But let me say this about Drake May. Drake May, the situation he was thrown into last year, of any rookie, of any probably quarterback thrown into any situation, was probably one of the worst, if not the worst. And he still did well enough to eventually get a call to make the Pro Bowl. Again, I know people are going to say, Aaron, he was a reserve. Regardless, I don't care. He went out there with an awful offensive line, with a rough wide receiver core, and a running back that was fumbling left and right, and was still able to win some games and put up some decent stats for a rookie year. Now, the evidence to say that he is not going to go into a sophomore slump would be this. Everything around him is significantly better than last year. So that would lead you to believe, deductive reasoning would tell you, you look at last year, what he was able to do last year, fast forward to this year, what he has now, exponentially better. What is he going to be able to do with that? And especially having more time, hopefully, in the pocket with a better offensive line, what is Drake May's ceiling going into this year? Again, anyone who watches his show, I'm glass half full. I look in the positive of things. I'm not going to sit there and tell you Drake May is going to be absolutely awful. We haven't even seen him play yet this year. You're going to say, well, Aaron, you can't provide me solid evidence and proof that he's actually going to play well this year. We have to wait and watch him play. Yeah, sure, I'll concede that argument. But you would have to agree. You would be dumb not to agree that everything he has at his hands right now this season is incredibly better than it was last year. So that again would lead you to believe, lead you in a direction of positivity. Again, that's the reason why the Patriots organization is on cloud nine, saying, "Hey, we got a chance this year. We got to push at the playoffs this year. We're going to be better than the Dolphins and the Jets this year. Who knows? We might challenge the Bills this year. We're going to surprise people this year." And again, the media is jumping on that narrative as well. So I have a hard time seeing Drake May go into a slump. It's going to be tough for me. And your argument might be, well, the wide receivers aren't as good as we think. Last year, he was still able to manage with that wide receiver core. He is not at his peak of play yet. We just got to sit down and let him do his thing, because he is going to dazzle. He is going to be great. It's going to be awesome for this organization to see. And I'm realizing right now, as I went over, it did not go over to the other slide. My fault about that. I don't know why I did that, but my fault. Look at Robert Spillane sticking his tongue out the whole time. Anyways, I digress. We'll talk later. If you haven't already, look below in the description. Our June giveaway. Some people have already signed up for memberships. Some people have already bought some merch. Don't miss out for some free swag. And yeah, hit that subscribe. If you have not hit that subscribe button, it takes you 2 seconds. Just hit it. Appreciate it. We'll talk later. Peace.